Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. My fellow miscreants, dissidents, and ne'er-do-wells, I am pleased to inform you Slidefire is back in business. Now, they're in the business of making one of those no-no things that you're not even allowed to mention on the tube of views. So I want to be real clear, we are not sponsored by them or promoting the thing in any way. I'm simply reporting to you that the ATF was unsuccessful in their attempt to harass them out of business. They knew they didn't have the authority to do what former President Trump told them to do, but they did it anyway, confident that by the time they lost in court, everyone who made one of those bumpy things would be out of business.
I didn't hear no bell.
But despite being unlawfully forced to close up shop for 6 years, Slidefire is back, which is why I want each of you to call Florida Governor Ron DeSantis at 850-717-9337 and tell him to end the ban on, the bumpy thing.
That which cannot be named.
But hey, it would be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors. Thankfully, none of our sponsors make things that upset our YouTube overlords, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Franklin Armory. Anything worth shooting is worth shooting twice, and now, while supplies last, you can go binary for less because both the discontinued straight and curved fixed trigger models for the AR platform are deeply discounted to make room for Franklin Armory's brand new interchangeable trigger bow model, the AR Elite. Franklin Armory, those freedom facilitators who brought you twice the pews with their binary firing system because it's a scientific fact that bad guys with twice as many holes in them are half as dangerous. So in the unfortunate event you should ever need your firearm for defense, remember, it's math. It can't be wrong. And by Vortex. The new Defender line features a constant on emitter with no flicker and shake awake, so it's always ready. The Defender CCW is impressively compact for daily carry. The ST is a bit larger, and the XL is an absolute beast with one of the largest windows available on a micro red dot. And by Hydra. The Mark 15 Hydra is the most versatile black rifle platform the industry has ever seen. The most you will ever need to convert calibers is a barrel, a bolt, and a magazine well. Hey, remember that story from Wednesday about Okeechobee banning guns? Now they're claiming it was just an oopsie. Well, of course it was a mistake. The question is, what kind of mistake? Was it the, oh shit, we got caught kind of mistake? Or was it the, we're totally incompetent, I can't believe we even have this job kind of mistake? Because according to the FPC, the governor had to call and square them away. The particulars of the city council's mistake is they proclaimed an emergency under Florida Statute 870, which is for a riot.
Alakablam!
And I'm no lawyer, because there are some things that even I wouldn't do for a Klondike bar, but I'd bet if they did try to apply that riot statute to any area bigger than where people were, actively rioting, they would still have a hard time defending it on 2A grounds. I'll tell you one thing, it was the kind of mistake that earns a man a stern talking to from pretty much anybody in the country who has two give-a-shits to rub together. Apparently, the police chief was so shook by all the calls and messages, he had to take the next day off to recover.
Death the tyrant!
Aw, little bro is a sad tyrant. Is it wrong to bully public officials? Comment below. Surprising literally no sentient being in the local group, JD Vance wiped the floor with that weirdo from Minnesota. Not that he had to do much more than just step out of the way, but Vance looked smart and confident, and old Timmy looked terrified and confused, like a startled horse. And he just couldn't stop shooting himself in the foot.
Scapegoat, sometimes it just is the guns. It's just the guns. Become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. We understand that the Second Amendment is there.
He also attempted to establish some pro 2A street cred by mentioning that he used to bring a shotgun along to school after pheasant hunting, an experience which is not uncommon for boomers like him. Now, never mind that the Second Amendment does not protect any right to hunt. It was pretty dumb for him to bring that up. Then to go on and say that violence can be blamed on access to guns. There were virtually zero school shootings back then. Now, they're also nowhere near as common today as the legacy media tries to make it seem. As is my custom, I will link my sources down below, but Americans are more likely to die of a bee sting or a lightning strike than a school shooting. Astronomically more likely to die in a motor vehicle collision on the way to or from school. And by the way, most school shootings are not the lone wolf style the legacy media likes to promote. They are almost always gang and drug related and often don't even occur during school hours or on school grounds. Even a police officer's negligent discharge or a suicide across the street in a Walmart parking lot get tallied up as school shootings. And that's before counting all the incidents that never actually happened. An article from the noted right-wing bastion, NPR, exposed the fact that many of these reported incidents were not incidents at all. Now, I don't mean they were not a big deal, like they got reported as a shooting, but it was just a gun that was found. I mean, literally were not any kind of incident at all, simply manufactured from thin air. But setting all of that aside, we can agree that school shootings do happen from time to time, and they are more common now than when old Timmy was a high schooler, so what changed?
Now return to the communists.
It certainly wasn't access to guns. When Timmy was in school, there wasn't even such a thing as a background check. So, what did change? A lot of people will blame it on SSRIs or the internet or video games, but I think stuff like this is never simple. I think fatherless homes are a big part of it. I think the drug war creating criminals is a big part. I think it's a complex societal issue, and I agree with Timmy when he said we end up looking for a scapegoat, but I disagree with his simplistic assessment that it's just the guns. What do you folks think? Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey just signed something called an emergency preamble to rush all her latest infringements into effect immediately. Massachusetts already has some of the most draconian restrictions in the country, so the new law mostly just doubles down by broadening red flag laws and make-believing they can stop people from 3D squirting, but it's a large bill with scores of changes, all intended to do nothing but harass legal gun owners. The obvious aim here has nothing to do with crime, but is solely concerned with making it close to impossible to have a gun without knowingly violating some obscure and arbitrary state law. Well, they'd better enjoy that control while they have it, because the gun rights groups are gonna start picking off Massachusetts control freak laws one by one, and I, for one, cannot wait.
Gundustry News.
Is it time to spruce up that old scattergun? Midwest just dropped some fine-looking new aluminum shotgun stocks and handguards. They've got thick rubber butt pads, cutie sling swivel sockets, M-lock slots, and all sorts of optional doodads like grip panels and shell holders. Stocks are available for the Beretta 1301, Mossberg 590, and Remington 870, and a handguard is available for the 1301. They also partnered with Langdon Tactical to put together a full 1301 package available in black and the Lord's Plaid. This is the part where normally I would tell you prices and details and stuff like that, but I can't, so be a big boy or girl and go find out for yourself, I guess. There's, I don't know, probably a website or something. But guns are gross and icky, and YouTube, please don't ban me. And now, for your moment of zen.
I will never own a plastic lower like that.
Let's see that. I'm running some of my rounds through there.
Never. Here we go. Going live.
Hey friend, do you like pews and pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you pure uncut American pew propaganda at the low, low price of free? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.